Perreo intenso acaba de comenzar.
On July 24th of 2019, Puerto Ricans made history by making the governor Ricardo Rosselló resign through a protest that lasted nearly 2 weeks, commonly known by the trending hashtag Ricky Renuncia. The protesters used various ways to manifest their anger, such as motorcycles, jet skis, horses, boats, and the most prominent of them all, a perreo. This unique form of expression, dubbed by the protesters as Perreo Combativo, was known to be the knockout blow to the corrupt governor, shortly leading to his resignation. With the impact that the Perreo Combativo might have had on the Ricky Renuncia protest, one big question comes to mind. Did a simple dance performed at parties and bars have a huge influence in one of Puerto Rico's greatest protests? And if so, how? To target this question, we will need to go back to the origins of Perreo and the reggaeton genre itself, so that we can understand how it may have had an impact on the Puerto Rican culture.
Since reggaeton's beginning in the 1990s, the music genre has been used as a method to denounce social inequality, racism, police violence, among many other social injustices. Rappers commonly use their lyrics to target the abuses and corruption of the government by exposing the harsh reality of young people living in public housing. Examples of these songs that target problems in society include Eddie D's Señor Oficial, Ivy Queen's Somos Raperos Pero No Delincuentes, and Daddy Yankee's Abuso Oficial. While the music genre of reggaeton has been used to send a message to the Puerto Rican community, nowadays many of the songs are purely composed of sexually suggestive lyrics and acts of crime and violence, making underground music a taboo in Puerto Rico society and a target of police and government officials during its epoch of bloom.
Pedro Rosselló, Ricardo Rosselló's father and the governor of the island during the 1990s, had a great influence in the criminalization of underground rap to boost his anti-crime initiative called Mano Dura contra el Crimen. From 1993 to 2000, the Puerto Rican Police Department and National Guard raided and occupied public housing and other marginalized communities under the orders of Pedro Rosselló as part of his anti-crime initiative to fight against drugs and violence.
Even though many people feel represented by urban artists in present times, many others, especially elder people, didn't find the Perreo Combativo to be a proper manifestation method. Some people even found the manifestation disrespectful, because it took place in front of the Cathedral of San Juan, or because it was not the correct way of conveying the message and demanding the resignation of Governor Rosselló. Even the Archbishop commented he repudiated the act because it was, I quote, a disrespect to our patriotic and religious symbols. Similarly, there was a huge debate in social media between people who were either in favor or against the Perreo Combativo. For example, Jose Jimenez commented, "Reggaeton by coincidence occurred when 15 days of demonstration and struggle culminated. It is not the first time they defend the indefensible in the name of inclusion and anti-classism. But they already went too far applauding a genre that celebrates all the anti-values we're trying to combat." On the other side, there were people who believed it was right to protest this way because, in the end, it did not hurt anyone. Whereas Rosselló united, a Perreo is going to disunite? Why the crying for perrear and profaning a so emblematic center of crimes and pedophilia? Once again, the millennials and new generations sticking out their faces for the ignorant that wish to remain in the obscurantism, said Yolanda Arroyo Pizarro. And so on, the comments of people continue in two main perspectives, either in favor or repudiating the manifestation because of religious, inclusion, anti-discrimination, or discrimination reasons.
But really, why did the Perreo Combativo cause so many heated conversations between the conservative and more liberal people? What was it of this manifestation that caused indignation in some, yet contentment in others? It would be more understandable if the controversy was held because of a more problematic situation, such as violence during the protest, but just because of a dance, a form of artistic expression. This brings out another point in the conversation. Perreo is an artistic expression of dance, just like any other type of dance. For example, ballet or tap. Art, just as paintings or performances, which can be used to express people's feelings or to calm the masses that felt desperate and powerless with a governor that did not want to listen to its people. Edmirael Delgado Reyes commented that the Perreo Combativo was a form of expression widely criticized, not because it was held in front of the cathedral in San Juan, but because people still don't accept that others, and especially women, can express their sexuality. Also, he brought out the interesting point that a woman, during the protests, had a body painting flag and was criticized for showing herself naked publicly. He said, and I quote, "Como lo fueron en los primeros días de protesta, los comentarios hacia las jóvenes que se hicieron body painting con la bandera de Puerto Rico y se pararon frente a la barricada de la calle Fortaleza como acto de resistencia. Fueron criticadas de igual manera por su desnudez, a pesar de que no estaban cometiendo ningún acto que pareciese ser vulgar, ni se encontraban en ningún lugar de índole religioso." Then, the actual problem in the protest is not the perreo, but rather the expression of sexuality. According to Delgado, the big problem with the whole thing is the fact that some people will not accept the expression of sexuality as something natural or just normal.
Perreo Combativo, after all, resulted to have a very interesting background and context. It is now understandable how it came that people decided to participate in a form of protest of this kind, and why, though many others did not find the protest to be good nor to be respectful. Perreo is a non-violent form of artistic expression, yet many people repudiated it because it profaned the cathedral's meaning. It is, though, we believe, better to profane the cathedral of San Juan than to have people committing and receiving violence from the police and other protestants. Nevertheless, it is important to understand people who found it disrespectful in the same way they should do with the ones who are in favor. That the protest took place in front of a prominent religious site, they felt an immense disrespect, as if people were scoffing off their beliefs and what the church means to them. The Perreo Combativo just happened to take place in front of the cathedral, and the same night the governor resigned his position, regardless if it had an effect or not. The important thing is that people were free to express their feelings and beliefs with the hope that their demands will be responded. And they did.
Efectivo, el viernes 2 de agosto de 2019, el centro